Good day, everybody, and welcome to part one of our series, the top 25 Monopoly board game variants. Now, in this series, I'm going to be looking at board games, card games that have the Monopoly name to them, but they play different than standard Monopoly. I'm not going to be including theme games that play the same, but games that play differently. I got a lot of my ratings from Board Game Geek because some of these games I have not played, but there's also some games that I have that have not been ranked on Board Game Geek yet, so I kind of placed them where I felt they should be. Anyway, let's get started. Number 25 is Monopoly Jackpot. Now, Monopoly Jackpot, you're going to have a board that's got properties on it, and whenever you buy a property, you're going to put a little house on there. And in the middle of the board, there's going to be a wheel, and surrounding the wheel, there are going to be a whole bunch of different options. Now, anytime you land on chance or you roll chance on the die, you're going to have the option of opening up the wheel for betting, so people can go ahead and bet money that they have. Now, there is a stack of money that's going to be used in the game, and once all that money runs out, the game is going to end. And there's also going to be a jackpot space that's going to be in the board that's going to be gaining money, and if someone lands on free parking, they're going to be able to pick it up. So you'll spin the wheel, and there's things like 2x, 3x, 4x payout. There's somewhere you'll be swapping houses. There's one that will go bankrupt, but there's a whole bunch of different options on there. Now, I like the idea of the game. The execution has some issues, though. Number one, sometimes when you spin the wheel goes off of the track a little bit, so it's off center. They don't have anything holding it in place. And another issue is that you can bet as much money as you want, and that can become a problem. If someone were to bet, like, say, $2,500 on something and it lands on 4x, well, that person's just won, like, what, $10,000? We actually had a game, I think, that lasted under 5 minutes because that happened. So I think you need a house rule or two that limits the amount that you can bet. But other than that, it's a pretty cool little game. If you like betting games, it's a nice idea. It's just the execution has some issues. Number 24 is Monopoly Millionaire. Now, Monopoly Millionaire, you're going to try to become the first person to make $1 million. Now, in this game, all the properties are going to have a little card on them. And whenever you land on it, when you purchase it, you'll be able to pick up the card, and you can use it in the game. Like, it'll have a slide deal where you can take somebody's property card. Sometimes you can actually take up an entire person's property set. Another thing you can do is when you pass go, you can choose to upgrade your mover, and when you do so, you're going to make more money anytime you pass go, and you can do that twice. This game plays pretty quick. Making the $1 million, it doesn't take a very long time to do. It might take longer if you have more players, and it's an okay game if you're looking for a filler, but that's basically it, Monopoly Millionaire. Number 23, I put two games on here because they play the exact same. They just have different themes, and that is Monopoly for Millennials and Monopoly Pizza. Now, these games are all about experience tokens, and there's going to be a bunch of them in the middle, and they have point values on them. Some of them can be negative point values. And the way it works is whenever you land on somebody's property or experience, you're going to pay them rent, but you're also going to pick up an experience token from the middle of the board, and so will the player who you had just paid. Now, again, the game is going to end once all the properties or experiences have been purchased, and then you're going to count up all of your experience tiles, and whoever has the most is going to win. This is another game that I think would work as a filler. You can probably finish a game in about a half hour or so. This is another game that they stripped out a lot of the original rules, and they've just changed it up. So it's a simpler version of Monopoly. Number 22 is Monopoly Socialism, and this is a game that plays completely different than any Monopoly game that I've ever played. In this game, you're going to be trying to play 10 contribution tokens, and the properties are now called projects. Whenever you take over a project, you're going to have like some spaces on there where you can put contribution tokens, and your opponents can do the same. Now, an interesting concept in this game is there is a community fund where players can take money out to pay for whatever they need to. The catch is if the community fund runs out of money, then everybody is going to lose. Now, there's a lot of chance cards in this game, and these chance cards can change a lot of things. There's some chance cards that are going to take away some of your contribution tokens, some that will allow you to put contribution tokens on other cards. Others are going to take money out of the community fund directly, so that's another reason why you have to watch it. But this is a fun game. I like this game. Number 21 is You Build Monopoly. Now, You Build Monopoly, you're going to be receiving a whole bunch of hex tiles that have two properties on there and a couple of other things, and you're going to be able to construct a path using these tiles however you would like to. Now, the main differences in this game is that you're going to have residential buildings and industrial buildings that you'll be able to build on your properties. Residential buildings, however, are not going to be protected by the hazards that players can place on there. And if there's a hazard placed on one of your properties that has residential buildings, then it's going to get rid of all of the rent increases and bring it back to normal. Now, there are also things like schools and windmill tiles that you can play on those properties to protect you from the hazards. On top of that, you also have skyscrapers that you'll be able to play to jack up the rent even more. Now, I like the idea behind the game, being able to create your own Monopoly path. The towers and the buildings and the hazards are all really cool. The only thing is the execution. The tiles have a very hard time staying together, so anytime you place a tile somewhere, or even if you're moving a piece, sometimes the tiles will come apart and you have to spend time trying to put them back together, and that can get annoying. So for me, that kind of ruined the experience of the game for me, but there are a lot of people that like the game, and I like the way they made it. It's just the execution wasn't really all that good. Number 20 is a little card game called Express Monopoly. Now, in Express Monopoly, you're going to have a little Monopoly board that you're going to make with puzzle pieces. And mainly what you're trying to do is you're trying to collect sets. You're going to lay down a card, and then your opponent's going to lay down a card. And you're trying to be a person, and you're trying to get the last card of the set laid down so you can go ahead and collect the set and collect the points. And that's basically it. Now, there are a couple of cards in the game that will allow you to steal and things of that nature. I have not played this game yet. The reviews that I have read, people enjoy it as a light filler type of a card game. And my wife and I like card games, so I think this is a game that we're going to like too. Number 19 is Monopoly the Cheaters Edition. Now, in the middle of the board, there are going to be 5 spaces where you're going to put 5 of the cheat cards, and there's a whole bunch of different cheat cards. And what you're going to be trying to do is you're going to be trying to cheat in this game, and the cards that are in the middle of the board are going to be the cheats that are available to you. A cheat can be steal money from the bank. Another one could be move another player. Another one could be place a free hotel somewhere. And once a cheat is done, you're going to replace it with another one. Now, you're going to get rewarded if you are able to cheat in this game, but you're going to get penalized if you get busted. A lot of times you're going to be going to jail, and if you go to jail, you're going to have to wear this little handcuff component, which is really cool, I think. And if someone else gets sent to jail while you're there, you're going to give them that handcuff component and get out of jail for free. Now, I really enjoyed this game when I played it, and the trick with this game is distracting your opponents. And one way you can do that is by accusing them of cheating, and then they can get all flabbergasted. And while they're doing that, you can try to cheat yourself. Now, everybody is going to be real eagle-eyed in this game, but at the same time, they're going to be trying to do these cheats. This game is just a lot of fun. It's a great bluffing aspect of Monopoly. I highly recommend it if you like bluffing games. Up next is Monopoly Avengers, the 2015 edition. Now, in this version, you're going to have a round board, and you're going to get to choose from 6 superheroes, each of which have a different ability that you'll be able to use once per rotation of the board. And mainly what you're going to be doing in this game is saving cities. So if you roll the die and you land on a city, you're going to have to try to save it. It'll be overtaken by a villain, and the way you can simply save it is just pay the cost. And then you'll place a little token on there, and the city will be saved. And then people who land on it are going to end up paying you rent, or power as it is called in this game. There are also going to be shield cards and villain cards that you're going to have to contend with, and they can either help you or hurt you. And you also have a power die that you're going to be rolling on some of the villain cards as well, to see who's going to getting hurt or helped. And you're also going to be rolling it in case you don't have enough power to save a city. You're going to roll the die, and whoever symbols comes up, they're going to have the opportunity to try to save the city themselves. This is a nice little filler game. There really isn't much strategy to this. It's just kind of based on luck. But for a filler game, it's pretty cool, and I enjoyed it when I played it. Okay, folks, that does it for us at this time. We will continue on with this series in the next video. Y'all take care. Keep on gaming.